Hi everyone, it's teacher Lauren here. Today I want to tell you about how I got started with VIP Kid. And I'm sharing this because recently I posted to Instagram my story of how I got started with VIP Kid, and I had a lot of feedback on my story. People that were like, "Wow, you need to share that." People that are applying, it would be really helpful for them to hear this. And I said, "Oh, okay. I guess I could do that. I can make a video." So, this is for you guys. I first applied to VIP Kid in July of 2017. I was seeing all the ads on Facebook and I thought, I'm going to give this a shot. Sometimes I need small wins. You know when you're feeling kind of like not great about yourself and you just need like something to make you feel better about yourself, something that's easy, something that you're like, oh, look what I accomplished. It's kind of like when you're writing a checklist and you're like, okay, this is my to do list. And you write all the things. And then at the bottom, you write, like, make to do list. And then you check it off and you're like, look what I did. That's where I was in July of 2017. So I saw this advertisement for VIP Kid and I thought, well, I have classroom teaching experience and I have experience as an ESL teacher. So I thought, this should be easy. This should be an easy win. I wasn't really looking for a job at the time, and I kind of was like, I'm going to do this, and if I get it, I'll decide if I want to teach or not. So I went in one day and I applied, and right away I got the email back saying, "Hey, we'd love to have you, and here is what we will pay you." And I was like, "Cool. Like, I guess I'm hired." Like, that was so easy. I thought that was all I really needed to do. Like, I didn't really think I needed to try that hard because I'd already been told they wanted me and I was already told how much they would pay me. Like, this was so simple. I was on vacation when I got that email, and they started saying, "We want you to come do the mock. We want you to come do the mock. We want you to come do the mock." And I was like, "What am I going to do?" So I was writing emails going, "I'm so sorry. I'm on vacation. I can't do this right away. Is it okay if I?" And they said, "It's fine. Whenever you're back from your vacation, let us know and let's set up your mock class." So, okay. At the time, I also had no plan for where I was going to teach. Okay. Now I teach in my attic. Okay. This seemed like the best spot. But at the time, I wasn't entirely committed to this idea of teaching online or teaching for VIP Kid or anything like that. So I wasn't committed to a space for it. So I set up a makeshift classroom in my kitchen. And I didn't have like a good background that I could use. So I was trying to put stuff together that was ridiculously complicated. And I'll just tell you, like, my background included using books to hold things up, which was crazy. And every time I practiced my mock, or if I wanted to see how I fit in the frame or whatever, I was resetting my background and then putting it back down so we could eat, or so we could do this, or so we could do that, like just so we could have a functional kitchen again. And then when it was time to practice or time to do the mock or whatever, setting it back up. So it was kind of complicated. When I went in to do the mock, I thought, I don't really need to try that hard. I already got this. I chose not to wear an orange shirt. I don't think I used a headset because I didn't have one that I could use. Um, what else didn't I do? My first mock, I might not have even had a background now that I think about it. Um, Maybe that's all. Oh, I also I did it in my kitchen. I did my mock in the kitchen, but I my family was home, so I'm sure there was all kinds of sound being picked up. So embarrassing to say this out loud. Okay, so I get done with the first mock, and surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, I thought I already had the job. So when I got the email that was like, "You passed the first mock class," I was like, "Duh." Like, can I start now, or like, what is this? So I read through the tips and things that they said to me very quickly because I thought I already had the job, and this was just formality. So a few days later, I went in to do my mock 2, and this time I still didn't have a headset. I still didn't wear orange, but I think I wore something that was like a shade of salmon that was as close as I had to orange, which, it's not a requirement, but I feel like actually it might have been at that point. That might have been before they let go of the rule that you don't have to wear orange. But I didn't wear orange. So, but I did wear something that was sort of a salmon color because that's as close as I could get. I still didn't have a headset. I still was in my kitchen. This time I'm fairly certain I had my background. So I went in, I did my class. And when I was done, I was like, nailed it! Like, I guess I'll be starting tomorrow. Here we go. A few days later, I was shocked to get an email that said, we're no longer interested in having you as a VIP Kid teacher. Thank you for your time, blah, blah, blah. That kind of a thing. A rejection letter. And I looked at that and I was like, wait, what? What? But you already said you wanted me. So I had told my family and I told my husband, I was like, yeah, I want to do this job. And now I had to be like, oh, they didn't want me. Like, I have to tell you, I was crushed. I didn't even want the job, but I took that rejection as a sign that I was not a good teacher. When I saw this email, I went to my husband and I was like, I didn't get the ESL job. And he was like, what? He goes, I thought they already offered you money and stuff. And I said, they did. I said, it's so weird though. I just got the email saying that they're no longer interested in me. And then something happened I wasn't expecting. I cried. And I cried hard. I cried really hard. I didn't know until right then and there that I actually kind of did want this. And I think that, some of the tears was also the feeling of like, oh, I'm bad at what I do. I'm bad. I always thought I was a bad teacher, and now I know I'm a bad teacher because this rejection means that I'm bad at what I do. So, I remember that day. A very close friend of mine called me later that afternoon, wiping the tears away. Hi, what's up? And she's like, how are you? Like very soft like that. And I said, oh, I'm fine. How are you? And she said, I'm okay. She said, your husband asked me to call you. And I said, oh, why? And she said, well, he told me that, and my voice was starting to waver now. She said, he told me that you were kind of upset and that you might need someone to talk to. And no sooner did those words come out of her mouth, I was just like, blubbering hot mess, right? So I told her, I was like, this is hard to take. I was like, I really feel now like I am just not a good teacher. So her and I talked for a long time. And in the end, I finally said, I don't need them. I'm fine. I know I'm a good teacher, and I know that my students loved me. My parents loved me when I was a teacher. I think about my students all the time, and I don't even need this job. I don't need it. I just wanted it. So I let it go. I forgot all about it, in fact, except every time I was scrolling through Facebook and an ad came up, I was like, you. I'm like so not even joking. The thoughts that went through my head every time I saw an ad were just hurt ego, frustration, and then sort of like a I don't need you, whatever. Months pass, and I'm moving on with my life. Everything's fine. Out of the blue in October. Okay, so that was July. October. I get this email out of the blue that says VIP Kid, and I'm like, what? What? Why are they emailing me? And I look and it says, you were so close to passing our second mock class, and we would love to take a look at you again. If you come to this kickoff meeting, you will learn everything about our company, everything about teaching over the course of about 2 hours, and then we would love to hire you. I looked at that and I was like, oh, you want me now? You want me now? Are you kidding me? uh, so I I tell my husband, look at this! You can't even believe that this is here. Well, I thought, you didn't want me before, you're not getting me now. And I left that email there. I just left it sit there. I didn't delete it, I just left it there. So again, I forgot all about it. Fast forward to the following April, okay? So almost a year after I first applied, April 2018. I have gotten very sick and I have this incredibly inflamed tonsil, and my doctor gives me steroids and she says, "Be really careful. The first day, the first dose is really strong." And she said, "Usually when I take it, I start acting like a superwoman. I clean my whole house and I go through all the closets and all this stuff gets done that I wouldn't normally do." And I'm like, "Okay." So, I take the first dose. I feel fine. I'm like, what is she talking about? I'm up really late that night. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there thinking, "Ugh, my life is so dull. I feel like I need to add something else to it." Which, if you don't know me personally, that's like ridiculous because my life is very full of things. I'm a homeschool mom. I volunteer at my church. I am part of a homeschool co-op. And I have a job. I have a part-time job as a nanny, but the kids are getting older. They don't need me so much anymore. But I have things going on and I'm a busy person. So I didn't really need that job at that moment. I don't know why that thought occurred to me. So I just had this idea. I'm going to see if that email is still out there. I'm going to see if I can click on that link and do that class. Well, it was. The email was still there and the link was still live. And I clicked. And with that one click, I was taken to a place to sign up for a meeting. That was Friday night. I signed up for a meeting on Monday, and I was like, "Well, that's that." Saturday morning, I woke up and I thought, "What have I done? I can't do this. I don't want to get hired by them. I don't have time." All the thoughts, just all these thoughts running through my head. Sunday, I'm thinking I should just cancel. I should just cancel. Monday came and I was sitting at my computer just like this, going, "Why am I doing this? I don't have time for this. I don't have time to sit for 2 hours in a class to learn about this. And I'm not even going to take the job anyway. So this is ridiculous." I also had the train of thought of, "Lauren, stop talking yourself out of experiences. Take a chance and see what happens." And I did. After I got done on Monday, I started getting together all the things that I needed to send into them. I I uploaded everything I needed to upload. I took all the pictures. I remember that I even this is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh. So I have a YouTube video about my very first video. Okay, my very first teacher video that parents would see, right? Um I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to have to edit that into this video because you have to see it. I was so excited to get to the part where I could book classes that since I was working that day, I sat in my car and I took a video of myself saying, "Hi, my name is Teacher Lauren." You can see my seatbelt. You can see the car window. It is so unprofessional. And I'm so embarrassed that it was ever on my profile. But that's real life, right? That's what it's really like. Sometimes we just get excited for things and we jump the gun. So that's what I did. And within, I don't know, 24 to 48 hours, I was all set up and ready to open classes. And I was excited. Like, so excited. I can't tell you how excited I was to work for this company. Over the next 25 days, I went to something like 20 workshops because I wasn't getting classes. I was opening a lot of stuff. But I really didn't have a ton of guidance as a new teacher. The referral code that I used was for someone that was like a friend of a friend. I didn't really know her. So at that point, I wasn't asking her for much more advice. I did connect. I was already friends with Lisa Markle Sparkles. I knew her from Teachers Pay Teachers, and she was on Instagram with me. So I was sending her millions of questions. I'm pretty sure that had we not become friends, or prior to our becoming friends, she was probably thinking, oh my gosh, leave me alone. Leave me alone, lady, leave me alone. But she was so helpful and kind and got me off on the right foot. She listened to me rant every time, another day went by without a class and all of it. So I told myself when I started that I was not going to be the type of teacher that panicked if I didn't get a class because I was watching all these people sending out messages saying, I have been opening classes for 4 days and I still haven't got a class. And I said, no, that's not going to be me. I'm going to let the system do its thing. I'm going to prepare for 2 weeks of waiting and then maybe I'll see one. I don't know, but I'm going to be cool. I tried to be cool. I tried really hard to be cool. But when I got to day like 15, 16, 17 with no classes, I started to panic. I started to panic. And I started to have those thoughts again of like, well, I'm not a good teacher. That's why I'm not getting any classes. I'm not a good teacher. During that time, I changed my video 3 times. I changed my pictures a bunch of times. I changed my biography a bunch of times. If I could change it, I did. If I could add a certification, I did. If I could attend a workshop, I did. I did everything I could do. Finally, and I was getting all these Hutong tokens. I was real excited about doing the Hutong challenges. One of the one of the token rewards at that time was the option to have your name, okay, your name and your birthday in the weekly newsletter. And I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I don't need to spend my tokens on that. But hey, it might be fun to have my name associated with VIP Kid. So I spent my 500 tokens or whatever to do that. And I just went with it, right? So May 20th is my birthday. And I decided that a couple days before I was going to send them. I sent in a ticket and I wrote, because I'd heard that if you send in a ticket, sometimes they'll give you trials, right? So I sent this email to VIP Kid. I'm like, dear wonderful tech support team, thank you for all that you do. My name is Teacher Lauren, and I would really love a class. I want you to know that my birthday's coming up on May 20th, and the only thing that I really want for my birthday is my first VIP Kid class. Now, I don't really know if that is why I received a class a few days later, but sometimes I like to tell people that it is. Because all of a sudden I had my first class and I was very excited. I had 2 classes, both with the same student, so that was really exciting for me. Um, Unfortunately, like the first one canceled, and so I was like, oh. I went to bed Sunday night. I had one class the next morning, and I was all prepared for it. I spent my hour prepping for my class. I was ready to go. I still had slots open, but I wasn't expecting them to book because, I wasn't getting any classes. I had that one, and that's all. Well, I also didn't know about Frenzy, right? So I wake up Monday morning. Okay, I have these short notice classes, and I make sure that I wake up before the first class. And all of a sudden, I have 3 back-to-back classes. That was my biggest fear as a new teacher. I did not want to teach back to back classes. I was so afraid of back to back classes that I told myself if I got a class, I would close the classes before and after it. Only one, just starting off slow, right? Well, I hadn't done that with that one class that I had for Monday morning because I just didn't think they would book. So now I have 3 back-to-back classes. Ah! So I quickly got together all the materials that I could for those classes and taught my first class. Fantastic, right? It went great. Except for the fact that I I knew that I needed to end class at 28 minutes to get to the next class. But I was so determined to finish the slides. I did not want my first class to be a letdown for that parent or the student. I didn't want them to leave me negative feedback because I didn't finish the class. So I was like, we're going to push through this. We're going to get it done. So that's what I did. And unfortunately, what that meant is that I was about 30 seconds late for my second class. And the whole time I'm watching the clock with that first student going, okay, so now this kid's going to have a good class, but my next student is going to have a horrible class, and I'm still going to get bad feedback. Like, Lauren, get it together, get it together, get it together. Get it together. But I was almost frozen in that classroom, like afraid to go to the next one. Well, I finished that first class. I went into the second one, and would you believe my luck? My student was about 5 minutes late for class. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! I was so lucky. So lucky. I do not tell people that I refer or any of the newbies on Newbie Island to plan for that to happen because I just got insanely lucky. I finished that class, finished it at 28 minutes, and I went right to my next class, and it was great. I finished those first three classes, and I knew that VIP Kid was going to be the place for me. I knew that I was going to love working for this company and that I was going to be here as long as they would let me. And here I am. It's September 18th, 2019, and I'm still here. And if you don't know me, here's some things that I do with the company. Most of this, probably all of this, are things that I have um, found on my own. I've like found something that I wanted and I just go for it. Shortly after I started, so in June of 2018, I decided that I wanted to have a Facebook group. And it seemed like all the Facebook groups were taken. So I decided to make my own. And I didn't know what it was going to be. I wasn't sure if it was going to be referring or what. Well, I saw an opportunity to make a Facebook group just for new teachers. And that's when I created Newbie Teacher Island. So I did that. I literally grew that from myself and one other person to now at this point we're at over 1600 teachers. I'm proud of that. I will say that I'm proud of that. Um I what else do I do? I have been to 3 journey conferences, which I love. I oh, this shirt. This shirt that you see right here. I did not make this, but my son did. This was my son's idea. It says cuz Dino is a girl's best friend. Yeah, my son had this idea, and we decided we did not want to sell it, but we did want teachers to have it because teachers were really liking the shirt. So the compromise that I came up with was donating this money to the VIP Kid Rural Education Project. So I was able to write them a check for $500 at the last Journey conference, and again, I'm really proud of that because if you don't know anything about the Rural Education Project, go take a look. Go search VIP Kid Rural Education Project so that you can find out what that's all about because they do great things. Let's see, what else do I do? Oh, duh. I always forget about this. My favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do. My jam. My jam is meetups. So I started in April. In July? No, August, I hosted my first meetup. My first meetup was a park meetup here in Pittsburgh. I decided that I wanted to do something that would be teacher and student friendly, or not teacher and student, teacher and family friendly, so that you know if you're a mom that stays at home with your kids, you're still able to come. I wanted something that the kids would find fun and they would be busy. I wanted something that would help build my community here in Pittsburgh. And I wanted to meet the teachers because I knew that there were teachers in my area that had been doing this a long time, but I wasn't sure how I was going to connect with them if there wasn't a meetup. So I made one. I didn't have high expectations for that first meetup. I didn't. I wasn't sure if anyone would come because they didn't know me. They didn't know me at all. What ended up happening is that, let's see, that meetup, there were about 20 teachers that came. And there had been meetups in my area before, and I think that they were fairly successful meetups, but I wasn't a part of those because I wasn't there when they did them. I wasn't a teacher yet. But I can say that since that meetup, I've noticed that lots of teachers are interested in hosting meetups, and I feel like the community in Pittsburgh is so tight. I feel like um, when I have a meetup, teachers are like, "I'll be there. I'll be there for you." Like it's that kind of connection where they're like, I don't really want to drive that far, but they're counting on me. Like that those are my people, so I'm going to be there for them. And I appreciate that so much. And I try to do the same thing. Sometimes, I mean, I'm probably about 45 minutes north of a lot of other people, and I know that when I make them come up my way, they have to drive, a decent distance, sometimes longer than 45 minutes. And so I try to reciprocate that and go to their events that are further south. And, that's how you build community. You can't be all give. You got to, can't be all it's got to be give and take both ways. So, anyway, with that meetup, the craziest thing happened. Okay. With me saying, hey, I want to do this meetup, I got this email message shortly after I applied to do the meetup where VIP Kid said, hey, thank you for doing this meetup. We're really excited to have the Pittsburgh community, growing and interested in doing this. We have some of our execs coming into Pittsburgh the week after your meetup. Would you be interested, or would you be able to bring some of your teachers together to have dinner or to have lunch, I guess, with these execs? And I was like, what? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! And I ran downstairs. I told my husband, I'm like, you're not gonna believe this! You're not gonna believe this! Look, guess what happened? And then I got real scared. I'm like, where am I going to take them? Like, do I take them for Chinese? Is that weird? Do we go to a nice restaurant? Like, they're going to pay for it. So do I pick something nicer where it's fancier? Or I didn't know. And then I was like, who do I invite? If I wait until the meetup to actually meet these people, I might not have anyone that's able or interested to do in doing this. So I um I still didn't know anybody, right? But I knew there was one person that in my area, like sort of in my area, 2 hours north of me, was Tina Garcia. So I sent her a message on Facebook. I was like, hi, Tina. My name is Teacher Lauren, and I'm a new teacher, and this is what happened. And I know you don't know me, but would you be interested in going to this? And I'm sure you do this all the time, so don't, if you don't want to, I get it. And I don't know who's going to be there, and, like on and on and on and on and on. Well, Tina, I'm sure, I always say, when I tell the story, I'm always like, I'm sure she thought I was like, mm like, who is this person? But she agreed to come, and there were four other teachers, Ginny and Heather and Kimberly and Tina and I. We all went to a restaurant called the Grand Concourse, and we met Karen from the San Francisco office and Sophia from the Beijing office. We sat with them for 4 hours, and they asked us what we loved about VIP Kid, what we didn't like. They asked for any concerns we had. Like, we just sat there for 4 hours, and they took notes, and they were WeChatting people in Beijing and San Francisco saying, what can we do about this? This is a problem. Can you, like, right there in front of us? It was so exciting to see those wheels turning, and I was very excited to be there for that and be a part of that, and very fortunate to be such a new teacher and be asked to do this. So very cool. Very cool. I feel like I've had some VIP kid luck, and I feel like it's those kind of things that made me feel really special as a new VIP kid teacher that make me want to do that for other teachers. It makes me want to give someone else a special VIP kid experience. I want them to feel how I did. So that's what I try to do. All right, this is the longest video I've ever made for you guys. So I'm going to close it up. If you have questions for me, feel free to put them in the comments. I'd love if you subscribe to my channel. If you are a new teacher or someone that's thinking about VIP Kid, join us on Facebook at VIP Kid Newbie Teacher Island. Also, if you'd like to find me on Instagram, I love to chat with people. I hope that you all have a wonderful day and good luck.